This video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Move up.
Got it. Paul W.S. Anderson's strange adaptation of the Resident Evil video game series follows the adventures of Milla Jovovich's Alice, who serves as a sort of surrogate for the audience. Alice wakes up in the shower after being gassed and is immediately tackled by commandos that take her into the Hive, a research facility beneath Raccoon City. Here she learns that she's part of Umbrella's security, tasked with guarding the entrance, that the T-Virus has been unleashed, and that the Hive's AI, the Red Queen, has locked all the doors and killed everyone inside.
You're all going to die down here.
It's highly unlikely that we would make it out alive, but maybe if we follow the major events in the film, the obstacles our main characters encounter, and the decisions they make along the way, we can improve our odds and figure out how to survive Resident Evil. While it takes some time before a zombie actually makes an appearance in this movie, as always, it's important to know your enemy.
Whatever they are, it's pretty obvious what they are. Lab coats, badges, those people used to work here!
The T-Virus was derived from the progenitor virus and designed to take advantage of its mutagenic properties. While its original creator's intent was to utilize its regenerative effects to reverse degenerative disorders, the potential side effect of killing and reanimating the infected led to research diverting towards its use as a biological weapon. Soon after this, the antivirus was also engineered to halt the spread of the virus.
The virus is protean, changing from liquid to airborne to blood transmission. Depending on its environment, it is almost impossible to kill.
When injected into living tissue or transmitted through bites or scratches, the virus causes uncontrollable mutations, which trigger immediate cellular breakdown, resulting in death followed by reanimation.
All the people working here are dead.
Well, that isn't stopping them from walking around.
It's also important to note that the rate of infection varies depending on the severity of an infected person's wounds. For example, a severely injured Rain lasted less than 2 hours. Matt experienced immediate mutation from the scratch of the enhanced liquor, while in Resident Evil Extinction, Carlos went for more than 3 hours before showing any outward signs of infection. Once infected, reanimated zombies have the simplest of motor functions. Perhaps a little memory, virtually no intelligence, and are driven by the basest of impulses, the most basic of needs.
Which is?
The need to feed.
Unfortunately, the only way to take an infected out is to sever the top of the spinal column, or to cause massive trauma to the brain.
It's nothing. Fire drill.
Now, if the alarm starts going off at your top secret underground genetic research facility, you might want to take it seriously. Many of the workers write the alarm off as a simple fire drill, assuming that there's no way to stop the T-Virus from getting loose in the first place. If you're stuck in the Hive, your best bet is to go somewhere out of the Red Queen's field of view, as in an effort to contain the virus, she starts killing everybody by either gassing them, drowning them, or cutting the cables to the elevators they're in.
Clean up on aisle 5.
The threat level here is midnight, so there's a few things you need to keep an eye out for. One of the biggest threats is the murderous Red Queen. She takes her job very seriously and will not let people through easily. But, as we'll discuss later, she doesn't need to be the enemy. When the team arrive at the Hive, they try and access the server room to disable her. Kaplan assumes the defenses are down, but nothing could be further from the truth. Half of his team are then taken out by hidden lasers, and no amount of acrobatics or quick thinking was able to save them. So it's essential that Kaplan takes his time assessing the situation and employs the necessary steps to ensure that everything is fine. He does drop the ball a few times, but his biggest failure is when the door mysteriously opens right after he says that the Red Queen won't let them through.
Red Queen's defenses are in place. She's making it difficult.
He knows that he didn't open the door and should have just said something. Regardless, if you find yourself trapped in a laser room, the first sweep should indicate that its power is emanating from the glass beams on either side of you. Shoot the glass on both sides, and you should hopefully render the lasers useless within the space around you, at least until Kaplan disables the defenses and unlocks the door. Having survived this near-death experience, you're going to want to take a quick break to relax. You may have heard that it's Raid's 2nd anniversary, and there's never been a better time to dive in and start playing. Personally, I'm a completionist, and I've been on a journey to get 3 stars in all campaign missions, which involves clearing every stage with only 2 champions without letting either one of them die. And this creates a beautiful cycle of summoning champions and getting defeated by the lizard boss, until you can win 3 stars on every stage. Or you can test your mettle in the PvP arena to give you the confidence you need to confront the dangers around you in the Hive. As a celebration of 2 epic years, Raid is hosting 6 straight weeks of anniversary events and tournaments, running from March 1st all the way to the middle of April, all of them with cool prizes to win, including the first ever chance for clans to prove who's boss in a clan vs clan tournament. If you want to get a huge head start, just hit the link in the description or scan the QR code you're seeing right now, and you'll get your free epic champion, Jotun, who's amazing for the Doom Tower. You also get 100k silver, 50 gems, and 3 ancient shards so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. And be sure to check your inbox, which is where you'll find your extra rewards.
That homicidal bitch killed my team.
That homicidal bitch may be our only way out of here.
After surviving the lasers, you need to realize that the Red Queen actually isn't so bad. After all, her goal is keeping the T-Virus from infecting everyone and getting outside of the Hive, so you're better off working with her. One of the biggest mistakes the gang makes is letting Kaplan disable the Red Queen despite her warnings, as once the power is restarted, the doors unlock, releasing the infected zombies, and this is where things begin to get out of hand. Pretty soon the team discover they're in way over their heads, and their objective becomes to survive and make it back out before the blast doors at the entrance of the facility sealed them in. Now, the usual zombie advice I give applies in the world of Resident Evil. Don't get sentimental over friends who turn into zombies. If you see, say, your sister with her flesh falling off, don't go calling her name or going in for a hug. If a friend of yours gets devoured by the Horde, you need to make sure your emotions don't overwhelm you. Recognize when someone is beyond saving, and don't try and take on a Horde, as it will either result in your death or in you getting bitten and infected. Rain actually fails this key survival test twice, as she also hesitates to shoot JD when she sees him again later. This results in her getting bitten not once, but twice. While there is an antivirus out there, it's going to be of no help to you if you keep letting yourself get chomped on because you got feelings.
She bit me, man. She took a chunk clean right out of me.
The gang takes a long time before they actually acknowledge that Rain is a ticking time bomb. Now, the Red Queen's proposal to violently axe Rain to death in order to unlock the lab door might seem a bit much, but she's been bitten twice and the antivirus will be useless on her. Further to the point, right after this, Alex goes to shoot her and Rain grabs her arm to stop her, only for her to turn into a zombie and attack them a few minutes later, so don't be an idiot and take her out. Once you get a hold of the antivirus, you need to make sure that everyone who's been in close contact with a zombie takes it. Mac gets scratched by the liquor but never actually receives a dose of the antivirus. This leads to his scratch mutating, which dooms him into becoming a Nemesis T-type in the sequel. The movie ends with most of the team either dead or zombified. The only ones who make it out of the Hive are Matt and Alice, and they immediately get jumped on by Umbrella scientists. From there they become lab rats and are unable to stop the T-Virus from spreading throughout Raccoon City, and eventually the rest of the world. But all of this could be avoided if you begin working with the Queen from the start. If you take her warning seriously, she won't need to be disabled, which means that the doors won't open to unleash the undead. Simply investigate, grab the antivirus, and bounce. Even if you do ignore her at the beginning, as we've discussed, she gives you another chance not to make a stupid decision.
What do you want?
One of your group is infected. I require her life for the code.
She was willing to help, especially under threat of termination, provided the virus did not escape. Kill Rain and the AI can use her facial recognition and threat assessment software to identify where the zombies are within the Hive. She can also use the PA system to lure the undead into isolated areas and trap them by remotely locking the doors to give you a clear path through the Hive and back to the train. While the Red Queen doesn't wish to be destroyed, her first priority is containment, and considering the fact that the Umbrella Corporation ended up opening the facility to investigate what happened at the end, which led to the disastrous Raccoon City outbreak, she might even agree to helping you destroy the facility altogether. We see that she's able to alter the concentration of different gases in every room, so if you can convince her to flood the entire facility with gas and get her permission to detonate some strategically placed explosives, you could crush the facility under the weight of the earth above it, effectively preventing the apocalypse. But if the AI denies this request, she'll at least help you escape. As you exit, you're likely to encounter a few stragglers. All it takes is one bite or scratch for you to become infected, so wear a few layers and get crafty by taping magazines to your arms and legs. And wear gloves when going on the offensive. Keep your distance and go for headshots. Stay on your toes, be aware of your surroundings, and ask yourself, does the upcoming corridor look like the perfect place for a jump scare? If the answer is yes, proceed with caution. head on out of the blast doors and choose whether you want to live in ignorance, or get to work taking down the Umbrella Corporation before another incident engulfs the world, now that you've survived Resident Evil.